Man, the Philadelphia Eagles just reminded the entire league who they are. Walking into Minnesota after 2 straight losses, facing one of the loudest crowds in football, this team didn't just play, they punched back. You could feel it from the very first drive. The body language, the energy, the play calling, everything screamed, "We're done playing scared." This was a statement game, and Jalen Hurts was the one holding the megaphone. All week long, people questioned his confidence, his reads, his chemistry with the offense. But when the lights came on, he delivered a masterclass. Calm, composed, lethal. It was the kind of performance that turns doubt into silence. From the moment they won the toss and took the ball, you knew the mindset had shifted. 12 plays, 75 yards, nearly half a quarter burned off the clock. That opening drive wasn't just about points. It was a declaration. Hurts was in full command, reading coverages, spreading the ball around, letting the Vikings defense know this wasn't the same Eagles team that stumbled through the last 2 weeks. Then, boom, a 37-yard strike to A.J. Brown in the back corner of the end zone. Rolling out under pressure, eyes downfield, perfect touch over the shoulder. That was art. That was precision. And more than anything, that was defiance. It was Hurts saying, "We're back." And the numbers? 19 completions on 23 attempts, 326 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 picks. A perfect passer rating. That's not just a good game. That's elite quarterbacking. He looked sharp on every read, especially on third downs, where he made the toughest throws look routine. You could see the poise returning to his game. No panic, no second-guessing, just decisive, confident football. When the Vikings blitzed, he didn't flinch. He slid in the pocket, trusted his line, and found his targets in stride. That's the version of Hurts the league fears. The one who doesn't get rattled. The one who reminds everyone why he was in the MVP conversation last year. But let's give love where it's due. The receivers were sensational. A.J. Brown was his usual monster self, bullying defenders, breaking tackles, making every contested catch look easy. 4 receptions, 121 yards, 2 touchdowns, and both of them came in massive moments. That second score late in the fourth quarter? That was the dagger. Full blitz, game on the line, and instead of playing it safe, the Eagles went for the throat. Hurts saw the pressure, kept his feet calm, and launched a missile down the sideline. Brown cooked his man with a filthy double move, and the throw dropped right in. That's what elite duos do. They close games. And Devonta Smith? Pure electricity. 9 catches, 183 yards, and a career-long 79-yard touchdown that set the tone for the second half. He completely torched his defender, created separation with a smooth double move, and Hurts dropped it in perfectly. That connection was pure poetry in motion. When Smith's in rhythm like that, he's uncoverable. The speed, the precision, the timing, it all clicked. For weeks, this offense looked disjointed, like everyone was out of sync. But in Minnesota, everything flowed. The routes were crisp, the timing was sharp, and the chemistry was back. You could almost feel the confidence growing with every drive. And let's talk about the coaching. Credit to Kevin Patullo for shaking things up and letting Hurts operate under center more often. It might sound small, but that change made a massive difference. The offense looked balanced for the first time in weeks. Hurts had better field vision, the play action was deadly, and the run game finally had some life. Saquon Barkley didn't have a huge night statistically, but he did exactly what was needed. He kept the defense honest. Those early down runs, even the short ones, forced Minnesota to respect the ground game, and that opened everything up for the passing attack. You could tell the play calling had a purpose. No more predictable screens or wasted downs. Just a steady rhythm of aggressive, calculated plays that kept the Vikings guessing. And man, the attitude was different. The swagger was back. You could see it in Hurts' body language, in the way A.J. Brown celebrated after every big catch, in how the offensive line fought for every inch. This team wasn't just playing football, they were sending a message. The noise around Hurts had been loud. The criticism after the Buccaneers and Giants games was brutal. But instead of folding, he owned it. He stood up in front of the team, said his play wasn't good enough, and promised to fix it. And he did. That's leadership. That's what separates franchise quarterbacks from the rest. Anyone can look good when things are easy. But when the pressure's on and the critics are circling, only the real ones rise. Defensively, the Eagles weren't perfect, but they were clutch. The Vikings moved the ball, sure. They even outgained Philly in total yards. But when it came to crunch time, when the field shrunk and the pressure mounted, the defense held strong. 1 for 5 in the red zone. That's the stat of the night. That's what wins football games. Minnesota had to settle for field goals over and over again because the Eagles simply refused to break. That's championship mentality. Bend if you must, but never break. And when the game needed a big play, the defense delivered. Jalen Carter was an absolute force inside. That hit on Carson Wentz? You could feel it through the TV. Pure power, pure dominance. Moro Ojomo stepped up with a clutch sack that stalled a Vikings drive, and Josh Uche's late-game pressure sealed the deal. The defensive line might not have stuffed the stat sheet, but they owned the line of scrimmage when it mattered. And speaking of Wentz, man, what a rough night for the former Eagle. That pick 6 to Jix Hunt was brutal. Telegraph throw, never saw the linebacker drop into coverage, and just like that, 6 points the other way. You could see it in his face. That one broke him. From that moment on, the Eagles had full control. Even the secondary played with more discipline. They gave up yards but tightened up when it mattered. And you have to love the way they went after Isaiah Rodgers all night long. There was all that talk about him being one of the league's best corners, but the Eagles didn't care about reputations. 7 targets, 5 completions, 151 yards, and a touchdown allowed. Philly hunted him every chance they got. That's film study. That's preparation. That's coaching. They saw the weakness and attacked it mercilessly. What makes this one special isn't just the score, it's the context. This team was teetering. 2 straight losses, a frustrated fan base, and an offense that looked lost. And instead of spiraling, they responded with their most complete performance of the season. You could see the relief and the pride on every player's face walking off that field. They knew they'd just turned a corner. This wasn't luck. This was execution. This was belief. The locker room vibe afterward said it all. Jalen Hurts walking in, fired up, shouting, "We ain't losing no more." That's not a soundbite. That's a promise. And when your quarterback talks like that, everyone listens. The energy was contagious. You could feel that spark again, the same one that carried this team deep into last season. The Eagles didn't just beat the Vikings. They found themselves again. The timing, the confidence, the aggression, it all came rushing back. This wasn't about stats or highlights. This was about identity, about remembering who they are. And when this version of the Eagles shows up, the rest of the NFC better be ready, because Philadelphia just woke up. While Jalen Hurts rightfully owned the spotlight after that performance, there was so much more to unpack about this Eagles win. It wasn't just about one guy carrying the load. It was about the entire operation shifting into gear. From the play calling to the attitude on both sides of the ball, you could tell this team finally rediscovered its identity. The offense looked like it had rhythm again. The defense, while still giving up big chunks, found ways to close the door when it mattered. It all started with a change in mentality. This wasn't a team playing not to lose anymore. This was a team playing to dominate, to dictate, to take control of every snap. You saw that mindset right out of the gate. Going for it on 4th down not once, but twice during the opening drive. That wasn't just bold, it was personal. It was Nick Sirianni's staff saying, "We trust our guys." It set the tone for everything that followed. For weeks, this offense had been stuck in neutral, conservative on early downs, hesitant on big plays. Against Minnesota, all that disappeared. Kevin Patullo and the offensive staff opened up the playbook and leaned into what Hurts does best, spreading the field, manipulating the defense with motion, and attacking deep when the coverage breaks. They weren't reacting to the Vikings' defense. They were dictating it. Every snap felt intentional. Every adjustment felt like it had a purpose. And that's when this Eagles team is at its most dangerous. One of the biggest tweaks that changed everything was putting Hurts under center more often. It seems like a small thing, but it completely altered the flow of the offense. From under center, Hurts had better play-action looks, could scan the defense longer, and gave the running backs better angles to hit the line of scrimmage. It brought balance back. Suddenly, defenses had to think twice before selling out to stop the pass. And it wasn't just about opening up the deep ball. It created timing, rhythm, and structure, all the things that had been missing. You could see how much more comfortable Hurts looked. He wasn't forcing throws. He wasn't rushing decisions. Everything felt smoother. It was football played on their terms again. The offensive line deserves massive credit for handling Minnesota's exotic blitzes. Brian Flores is known for throwing chaos at quarterbacks, disguised coverages, delayed rushers, all sorts of stunts. Yet Hurts stayed clean for most of the game. Even when the Vikings sent heavy pressure, he stood tall and made them pay. That's not possible without protection. Lane Johnson, Jason Kelce, Jordan Mailata, they were warriors up front. They gave Hurts just enough time to find his rhythm. And when the pocket did collapse, Hurts didn't panic. He extended plays with patience, not panic, creating chances downfield that most quarterbacks wouldn't even see. That ability to improvise without losing structure, that's the mark of a top-tier quarterback. And then there's A.J. Brown. Every time he touched the ball, you could feel the energy spike. He's the emotional heartbeat of this offense. When he plays angry, the entire team feeds off it. His routes were sharp, his physicality unmatched. That late fourth-quarter touchdown, on 3rd and long with the Vikings throwing the house, was pure guts. Most teams run the ball there and play field position. The Eagles? They smelled blood. Hurts read the blitz perfectly, waited just long enough, and unleashed a perfect strike to Brown streaking down the sideline. One move, one missed tackle, and it was game over. That was championship-level execution, trust, timing, and courage all in one play. Devonta Smith was every bit as dangerous. The way he stretches the field changes everything for this offense. That 79-yard bomb wasn't just a highlight. It was a turning point. It forced Minnesota to back off, to respect the deep threat again, and that opened up everything underneath. Smith and Hurts were completely in sync, like they could read each other's minds. You could tell those two have been working overtime to get that timing back, and it paid off. When you have two receivers capable of dominating like Brown and Smith, defenses can't win. Take one away, the other one eats. It's that simple. Even Saquon Barkley, who didn't have a monster stat line, played a key role. He kept the defense honest, hit his gaps hard, and showed that little burst that forces linebackers to stay disciplined. When the Eagles mix in that balance, the threat of Barkley up the middle with the deep ball looming, that's when they become nearly unstoppable. You can't blitz Hurts because he'll burn you over the top, and you can't sit back because Barkley will grind you to death underneath. That's the equilibrium this offense had been missing. And let's talk defense. Sure, they gave up yards, plenty of them. Minnesota actually outgained Philly in total offense. But numbers don't tell the full story. The Eagles forced the Vikings to settle for 5 field goals. That's 1 touchdown on 5 red zone trips. That's elite situational defense. That's discipline, communication, and toughness. When the field got tight, the pass rush pinned its ears back. Jalen Carter was a wrecking ball inside, collapsing the pocket over and over. His hit on Carson Wentz might have been the most physical play of the night. You could see it on Wentz's face. After that, he never looked comfortable again. FlyEaglesFly News family, smash subscribe and hit like. Your support keeps the freshest Philadelphia Eagles updates flying in. Drop your take in the comments, and let's talk birds. The rumor mill is buzzing in Philadelphia after what many are calling a blockbuster move in the NFL offseason. Sources close to the team suggest that Bradley Chubb, the defensive powerhouse known for his relentless pressure on quarterbacks, may soon be seen sporting green, and not just in practice sessions. The whispers began circulating late last night, and while nothing has been officially confirmed, insiders hint that the Eagles are making a serious push to bring Chubb into their defensive lineup immediately. Chubb, who has been a force to be reckoned with since his entry into the league, would instantly become the centerpiece of the Eagles' pass rush. His ability to collapse pockets and disrupt offensive schemes could provide the kind of boost that turns a good defense into a feared one. Rumors suggest the Eagles' front office has been in intense talks with Chubb's representatives, offering a combination of immediate playing time and a lucrative contract that could finally see him leading a defense built to dominate in the NFC. Fans are already imagining the potential matchups. Chubb flying off the edge against division rivals, making quarterbacks think twice before stepping back to throw. The buzz is palpable on social media, where Eagles supporters are speculating on everything from jersey numbers to how Chubb would fit alongside current defensive stalwarts. Even analysts, who typically hold back until official confirmations, are beginning to weigh in, noting that a player of Chubb's caliber could be a game-changer in Philadelphia's quest for a Super Bowl run. While the team has not issued an official statement, the signs are clear. The Eagles are serious about immediate impact. Chubb's fit seems perfect for a team looking to capitalize on aggressive defensive schemes and turn a strong roster into a championship contender. Whether it's a trade, a free agent signing, or a last-minute deal, the green rumor is growing louder every hour. If true, Eagles fans may soon witness one of the most exciting defensive additions in recent memory. All eyes are on Philadelphia, waiting for the confirmation that could turn speculation into reality. That's a wrap from FlyEaglesFly News. If you want the fastest Eagles updates, subscribe, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Sound off in the comments. Let's talk birds.